62 people own the exact same amount of wealth that the bottom 3.5 B with a billion have in the world. 2 years ago, it took 388 billionaires to equal what the bottom 3.5
How many billionaires?
388, but now it's 62.
Leave your rose-colored glasses at the door. It's time for Carl and Mike.
Welcome, Carl and Mike. 2016.
Been a while.
A little bit. How you doing?
Relaxed.
You know when you're not working. the days.
Yes, I know. The days they just kind of
meld in.
Kind of all the same.
It's really not a day anymore. Have you noticed that? Time's changed for me.
Why is that?
When I was a kid, a day lasted forever, man. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Especially summertime, out of school.
Yeah, the weeks are flying by now.
Now days are now weeks. Really. It's almost like a week is a day.
Yeah.
Compared to when I was young.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you my theory on that?
You have one?
I have a theory. So when you're 7 years old, say it's summer vacation from second grade or first grade. Summer is 3 months out of you've only lived 84 months.
Yeah.
So 3 months out of 84 is a significantly larger percentage than 3 months out of 590 or over how many months we've lived so far. More than that, we've lived almost close to 1,000 months now.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why time seems to speed up as you get older, because in actuality, percentage-wise, it represents a smaller and smaller percentage of your life.
Yeah. It's interesting you're breaking it down into time segments like that, because I read an article where an individual said, we only live, 650,000 hours.
650,000?
Yeah, now that doesn't sound like, well, I got out the calculator, and it turns out if you live to be about 73 or 75 years, that's what it is.
Really?
Okay.
Now,
if we live longer, but see, let's say that it is, or let's push it to 800,000. 24 times 365 equals 8,000.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
So it comes out to
times 80 equals 700,000. Okay, so now we're at 700,000.
700,000 hours.
Okay, but how many of those 700,000 hours are you actually awake? Okay, let's say 2/3 of that.
2/3. Yeah.
Okay.
Ouch.
Okay, so now how many hours are you actually alive?
So divide that by 3.
Yeah.
I lose 233,000 hours.
Yeah, so now all of a sudden you're down to
I'm not sleeping
under 500,000.
467.
Well, I know. So all of a sudden, when you sit down and look at that, you go, okay, I'm investing 1 hour watching some program that's a rerun that I've already seen. So you go,
well, I say I don't do that anymore.
Well, see, we do.
Though I did see that HBO just launched the Godfather Epic.
Yeah.
Where they added new scenes, and they're going from linear fashion in terms of time.
We're kind of binge watching NYPD Blue right now. Every day they have a new episode. We've been doing that for a few weeks now.
So you're giving a precious hours.
Okay, yeah. So however you do it, you're given precious hours.
That's right.
Are those hours then well spent? Is that how you really, if you sit back and look at, okay, this is how much time I have to invest.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you want to break it down even finer, you go, as an adult, how many hours do I have left?
Yeah, that's how you want to really.
That's how you really want to look at it.
So if I've got 700,000, assuming 80, and I'm going to hope for a little bit more, but let's be realistic. 80 is the average lifespan.
Yeah.
So that means right now.
How many more years are you going to live?
Right. 876 times. Let's say I got, according to you, 23 more years to live. Mm-hmm. I only got 200,000.
Minus
67, so I've got 133,000 hours left.
Okay, how do you want to spend those? All of a sudden, it makes it seem real precious, doesn't it? It was real weird.
Do we want to be having this conversation for our lovely Carl and Mike audience?
No,
who's giving us their time right now.
No, I think, we
I hope you're multitasking as we speak. I hope you're driving.
We enlighten people.
Yes.
Not really, but that was an enlightening thing for me. It was like one of those
now, are you going to give it
to?
Are you going to give it for a rerun?
Yeah. I decided to spend more time doing whatever.
Yeah. So I'm at that point in my life. I'm doing things that I want to do to enjoy life. It's like Carl Mike. This is a well spent
When you get
hour.
over the center hump,
Yeah.
and you're on the downhill slide, and you realize that you're coming.
We're not at the obituary stage of
No,
life.
no, we're not
where
at the
we're reading obituaries to see who died that we know.
Well, see, that's another thing.
Really?
All
Are
of
we
our
there?
heroes are dying.
I know we lost Glenn
You know,
Frey,
Glenn Fry,
David
and then there's
Bowie.
David Bowie, and then and David Bowie dies, and all of a sudden he's on the
And
front
they're not
page of
dying because they swallowed their own vomit. You know what I'm saying?
or
Like the
choked
good
on
old
a ham
days.
sandwich.
They're dying of rheumatoid arthritis and old age.
And so all of a sudden the heroes are dying, and what that makes me realize, but the people that haven't died. Mick Jagger, Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan,
They're coming.
Willie Nelson. All these people are reaching critical mass, and they're all
Right.
reaching critical mass about the same time.
Yeah.
So there's going to
You're
be.
going to have a lot more David Bowie.
You're going to wake up every day, every week. You're going to have a couple, three more of these people.
That's right, 'cause
They're gonna-
baby
And
boomers-
who's replacing them?
Baby boomers are dying.
Who replaces them?
Green Day.
No, that's what I'm saying. Who replaces them from a musical standpoint? Nobody replaces them.
Well, no, nobody replaces the musicians of your youth, right? I remember when I was younger where that whole my father's generation of entertainers, the Bob Hopes, the Bing Crosbys, they all kind of went.
Yeah, they're
Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
They all went. They're all gone, really. Dean Martin. There's none of that. Johnny Carson. There's that call it the Johnny Carson era. They're really gone for the most part. Except for the young comedians that were really young came on towards the end of Carson's career.
Yeah, and so who comes on that replaces them? When you
who's
lose somebody,
musically-
when you lose somebody like a Robin Williams, how do you replace that with? Amy Schumer?
Well, who do you
no,
replace anyone
Amy
with?
Schumer's good, but she's no
Amy
Robin
Schumer's
Williams.
Amy Schumer. Yeah. Every generation has their people. I got a personal trainer, right? And he always is playing the 90s, this 90s music, which I didn't really pay attention at that in the 90s. I wasn't paying that much attention to 90s music other than the ones
Like
that,
what? What kind of music?
it's kind of like that early rap, and some of them I know, like Funky Cold Medina. But for the most part, unless it really hit the airwaves heavy, I didn't listen. But that's his thing, right? Because he grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
So that's his thing. The 60s aren't his thing.
No, they're
70s
not.
aren't
But
his thing.
I guess I'm saying there's certain
but you-
geniuses that come along, and then when they're gone, they don't get replaced.
I say
You're not
every-
going to replace some rap star with. They're not going to replace John Lennon. You're not going to have some big rap guy replace what somebody like Bob Dylan did over his lifetime. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you don't
Yes,
know.
they're different. It's a different era.
You're saying musically,
Right.
after our
Right.
era, that was it? Yeah, people would disagree with you.
Okay. We won't live to see, but are we going to be in 100 years? Are they going to play "Smack My Bitch Up"? Some rap song that "Smack My Bitch Up." Is that going to be an oldies thing that everybody sits down and hums along with? No, it's not. It's going to.
I disagree. I don't know about that.
Yeah. See,
I mean, I don't disagree that.
and this
that
may be the
Beatles-
old man talking.
This is, I think, get off
It
my
could be-
lawn.
No,
like,
no.
talking.
This could be. Man, get out of my lawn.
Okay, so the kids that grew up in the 90s, right? They're going to become adults. They're going to be their parents, and they're going to play like we've talked about this before. Your music kind of DNAs you in your adolescent years. All of a sudden, music becomes important. And I would say from 14 to 25 or 15 to 25, that 10-year period, it encodes you pretty heavy. Music is the most important thing in your life between the. Not the most important thing, but as a major importance, major marker, because it ties in all the memories, right?
Yeah.
So that 90-year-old, the guy that grew up in the 90s, is going to have kids, and he's going to play his Funky Cold Medina or whatever. He's going to play Nirvana to his kids. And yes, there's a lot of artists that you won't listen to, but music is kind of becoming like electricity now. It's just always there.
Yeah. More so than
it's
it used
become a
to be.
utility.
Yeah, unfortunately for the people that produce it.
But yeah, certain artists will stand the test of time, because I'm sure there were other composers besides Mozart that we don't even know. With the exception of maybe one little
I mean, because
piece.
Mozart had to have a rich person pay for his thing. He didn't have a way of getting royalties from playing
Well, in
the
his
radio
case,
stations.
he was kind of a child prodigy.
But yeah, there were probably other people that were musicians that never did make it back in that day like there are now.
But no, you're right.
know,
I mean, the
it's-
baby boomers are dying, and baby boomers were one of the largest segments of societies.
And it's really the first society of mass communications and mass experience.
Yes.
It's like the music that I grew up with, I shared with my kids.
Right.
My parents didn't do that with me.
Right.
Now, it could be just the way I was raised, but there wasn't that shared. I didn't want to sit around and listen to Perry Como.
Right. So here's the other thing about music, right? Mm-hmm. You're 15 or 16. Everybody you like is in their 20s. So they're 10 years ahead of you, right? So we're starting to see the Bowies, the Glenn Frys. Mm-hmm. So that gives you a preview of what's going to be happening with your friends.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we're quite in that stage. Where
I am.
Your friends are dying on a...
Oh, yeah. People I listen to. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
People you listen to?
Oh, yeah.
Talk about friends, people you know.
Well,
so you're 10
no,
years,
not
usually
yet.
you're 10 years behind the musician.
Yeah.
Right? McCartney, the Beatles were in their 20s when I was 10.
Well, you're 10 years behind the heroes or the idols or the people you look
and the idols are going to go.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that would be around 10, 15 years. Yeah,
so I think
that's probably correct.
I don't think Bowie and Glenn Fry are we're going to see a lot more of those.
Yeah.
More regularly.
Yeah, and that's
than
the
we
part
ever have before.
And that's the part that's going to be kind of creepy. And then there'll be the shows where they have, well, this is what so-and-so did. And, when Bob Dylan dies or Willie Nelson dies, it's going to be a big thing. It's going to be a real big thing.
Willie Nelson will be a tough one.
Yeah, and he's a lot older. I mean, that guy's
80,
old as shit.
So there's a 20-year period, right, too. Mm-hmm. Some guys are going to, if the medium age is 80 or 77 or whatever it is, some people are going to die like Bowie at 67 and some people are going to die like Willie at 80 something or whatever. I think when you hit 90 or so, it really doesn't, then you're kind of out of it anyway. I don't know. But there will be trailblazers that'll change age as we know it.
Yeah, and it's going to be weird.
And then do you think we'll be, there's a lot of talk now about living a lot longer.
I think we'll continue to live longer.
1900, the average age was 41. Year 2000, it was 70. So that's almost, and now it's closer to 80. So within 110 years, 115 years, we've doubled.
I heard something on NPR yesterday. I do not know what this illness is. It's Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, I think is what it is. Right. And there was a guy who's identified the gene in the DNA sequence that he can go in there and snip out and fix that. And he's done it in rats. And this guy was on there, they were interviewing him, and he was all excited.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a huge thing. So there'll be more and more.
I think
stuff
longevity
like that
is definitely going to happen. This bad thing for us is it's kind of like that old joke. The newspaper comes out and it goes, we've achieved immortality. And then you and I go, oh, shit, we're 90. Missed it by that much.
Yeah, well, I mean, we will continue to live, but I'm not sure that we'll take care of the vessel any better. It's going to be more important to take care of the vessel better.
I think people will,
because the mechanics
but if they
are still going to wear out.
They can put nanobots in your thing and have like a little garbage man clean up the plaque. It just kind of flows through your stuff. The body on the surface will look like...
Well, that doesn't keep the muscles from atrophying by lack of use. We'll be able to live to be 120, but we'll look like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. No.
Slinking along, dragging your unused legs behind you.
Yes, you do need certain levels of exercise to maintain. Anyway, aging.
Yeah.
That's a good first topic for 2016.
Well, it's probably not a bad one.
How about, are you ready for your new, 2016 is going to be the year we're going to decide a president. You ready for President Trump?
Oh, it's a very real
way realer than I thought. I think Clinton's not you and I have always said, she's not a good candidate. She's beatable.
You hear that sound?
Yes.
That's the sharpening of the guillotine.
Say what?
The Trump thing doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't?
And everybody's after Cruz now. They're going to wipe him. I mean, Bob Dole came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Bob Dole.
No,
came out and
the
said,
Republican establishment would rather have Trump than Cruz.
Yeah, which they didn't even want Trump, but now they realize that they got to pick one of the two because all the other people are not happening.
No.
And so anyway, they're going to go with Trump, and then I really think now, I don't think Hillary's going to be it.
Bernie's going to win it.
I don't know
this
whether
is a big
it's going to be.
change for you.
I don't know whether
it's
going to be
Bernie or Hillary.
Democrats have the exact same problem that the Republicans do. the general public is waking up, and it ain't gonna be pretty. That's why they're sharpening the guillotines, because I think the general public is, and we talked about this months ago. Disenchanted is a very polite way to say the way people view their institutions these days.
Yes.
Whether it's governmental, corporate, hello,
Right.
Volkswagen, religious, hello, Catholics.
Right. Well, and it was there before. You don't elect Barack Obama
Yeah.
after 9/11
Yeah.
unless you're not happy with the way
Yeah,
things
well, it's
are.
full bore
And I think
now.
Obama kind of helped give everybody 4 more years
Yeah.
of stability that they.
Well, he was a visual change because he
Yes.
was a black guy, right?
Well, and he came. That went on hope and change.
Yeah,
That was his
and
thing.
so, but I think everybody's full bore at this point. I don't
hope
think
you're right.
anybody wants
I
anything
hope
to do
our
with
choice is Bernie and Trump, because I think you
That's a
can't
true
get two
choice.
opposites.
That's a true choice.
It's like,
That's
which direction are we going to go?
That's a choice. And
The billionaire, who represents about 80 families,
Yeah.
represent almost half. I mean, it's crazy amount of wealth 80 people have.
well, did you read that article? I said that 62 people own the exact same amount of wealth that the bottom 3.5 B with a billion have in
On
the
the planet?
world. 2 years ago, it took 388 billionaires to equal what the bottom 3.5.
How many
billion
billionaires?
388,
That
but
equal-
now it's 62 in 2 years.
So the one-
in 2 years.
A 1/100th of 1%
Yeah, it just
of the 1%
Yeah.
are just skyrocketing.
Yes.
See, that's the thing. How wealth works, though. It's a gravy fucking train. It goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes a life of its own.
Yeah, and
So you're saying the guillotines, people are not going to go for that.
no, they literally can't continue to go for that.
Yes.
They can't afford, they can't live to continue to go for that.
Yes, I agree. So Bernie is the voice for that.
Yes.
In a sense, Trump is too.
No, that's what I'm saying. Trump is too, because he's fighting against
yeah.
he's fighting against the
Well, it also is saying, hey, Trump's a billionaire, but look how stupid he is on so many. I mean, the way he talks, and he has no really ideas.
but he's
things.
tapping that vein.
He's tapping the
that vein.
lizard
Yeah, he's
brain.
got that lizard brain going, man.
Now, I can see there's rationalization starting to happen too. Like, well, Trump will at least, he's a deal maker. So if people decide that Trump's a deal maker and he can get Democrats and Republicans talking, I think it's game over.
And, yeah.
Especially if it's under Clinton.
And
Because Clinton, is going to be more stalemate.
Yeah.
And Trump is deals, making deals. Right?
That's why there's no way in hell I would vote for Clinton. I just
You would vote for Trump before Clinton?
I don't know the answer
Oh,
to
my
that.
God.
Probably not. I would hold my nose and vote for Clinton, knowing full well that it's going to be another 4 years of bullshit like we've had.
So the only time we get to create ungridlock is by electing a Republican president?
That would definitely be ungridlock. I'm not saying I'm in favor of that ungridlock, but in theory, that would be ungridlock. No, the general public, who, if it goes that way, would be standing back and saying, okay, let's see what you got. You say that you can fix this stuff. Let's see what you got.
I think you're underestimating. The general public still remembers 2008. They remember George W. Bush and what a train wreck
No, I
that
don't think
was.
so. I think people, no, because that's 2008, that's 7 years ago. That's, there are a lot of people that are voting now, and most that never did vote then, or that were too young, and those are all Bernie people for the most part, except the young Republicans and whatever. But I think people are pissed off enough at the stalemate, and I personally blame the stalemate way more so on the Republican and the right-hand side than I do everything
Absolutely.
else. But here's part of
Obama
the,
would have made
but part of
deals.
but here's what I'm starting to think of, that both parties. Now, when I say both parties, what I'm really mean, the powers that be, the people that are pulling the strings,
All right.
red, blue,
No, I think
Republican,
W.
Democrat.
Wasserman on the Democrats,
Yeah,
the way the debate
whatever.
schedule been set up to favor
the
Hillary.
people that are pulling the strings are doing things to divide. I love that phrase, divide and conquer. Now, if you think about the general population of the United States as a whole,
We're pretty
and you want to
divided.
divide and conquer them, you start talking about things that'll divide them. Hey, they're coming to get your guns. I want to keep guns away from people. Hey, they're you churchgoers, they're Christianity's under. So what they do is they create these false conflicts, false conflicts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, false conflicts.
So,
that really
but
aren't
both
there.
sides are
Nobody's
doing that
out there to get the gun.
because as long as we're worried about somebody getting our guns or worried about the rights of the unborn,
Well, the argument on
the
the right to the left would be climate change.
yeah, and climate change and all these other kind of things, or medical care for everybody. They say, well, we think everybody deserves the right. Now, oh, by the way, it's going to be water. They keep us divided and they keep us busy thinking and fighting each other. And because if we stop and think about those as being things that divide us rather than what the real problem is, which is basically the wealthy and the powerful looting the planet.
Yeah, I heard
Looting the planet, literally looting the planet.
And I'm not sure it's correct. I'm not sure if I'm getting it correct, but it's something. I think it says like 20% of Trump supporters would vote for Bernie,
They might.
and
I don't know.
and vice versa.
I think that might be true. But it's just let's go back to Clinton. How much money did she make doing talks for Goldman Sachs?
I don't know, a lot.
A lot, right?
A lot.
And how much money did Cruz get for his election
wife?
to the Senate?
Yeah, I love that one.
And she works for that.
Goldman
So
Sachs.
she's in. And who is Goldman Sachs? And they're
The last two
they're the
treasurers,
ones
the
that
Democrat and Republican.
Yeah, they're the
have
ones
been
that
from
cause this
Goldman
problem.
Sachs, yes.
Another
Goldman
great
Sachs runs things.
another great article I just read. They were talking about the coming recession, and folks, just hunker down because it's coming.
I don't know about that.
Oh, it's coming. And what the guy said was, he said, everybody's saying that it's China. But he said, let me be perfectly clear what the problem is. The problems that caused the 2007 and 2008 crash have not been addressed and had not been cleaned up. In fact, if anything, the banks are bigger and they're still doing the same shit. They may not be doing it in the United States, but they're doing it other places. And that same kind of problem exists, and it's going to be bigger than it ever has been.
Yeah, I'm not so sure on that. I hope you're wrong. I mean, I can see if they are doing derivatives and doing cheap home loans in India or something, then yeah, it's going to happen again. I think I do think you are right that the public is catching on. The anti-establishment is on both sides. I find it interesting that the Republicans, because they're in such a bubble, that they laugh or are with glee at the thought of running against Bernie Sanders. And yet, when you look at the polls, Bernie Sanders trounces anybody on the Republican side way more than Hillary does.
Be careful what you wish for,
Exactly.
because if he taps Elizabeth Warren and she runs with him, I don't think they're beatable. I really don't think they're beatable.
The things that Elizabeth Warren is going to endorse Clinton.
I hope not. I think that would be a big mistake for her, and I think it's.
Here's what's interesting. I think the challenge for Bernie Sanders. I think Clinton is going to win Democratic primaries in all the red states. Right, but Bernie's going to win the blue states, and I'd rather have a primary challenger. Okay, Iowa is a purple state. If he wins, so it go red or it can go blue. So that's why it's so close between Bernie and Clinton right now. But Bernie has a chance to win that. New Hampshire is a blue state.
Yeah, I don't think of it as
South Carolina. He's getting trounced by 30 points or so. That's a red state. If all Clinton can do is win the red states in the Democratic primary, that's not a great thing. You need someone who can win the blue states.
Yeah,
because Clinton ain't going to win South Carolina against Trump, I don't think, or against a Republican.
Yeah.
Right.
Bernie had a huge crowd in South Carolina. Huge.
I hope you're right. I hope the momentum
see, I don't think of it as red and blue and purple states. I look if it's Clinton, I look at it as male, female. I think there's enough women that'll jump ship to vote for a woman, even if it's Clinton. If it was a clean Clinton without all the baggage and shit,
be close. If it was an Elizabeth Warren Clinton,
yeah. If it was
she'd be trouncing. Yeah, she'd make Bernie Sanders look small potatoes.
Yeah. It would not even be. They would. There's nobody that could run against her.
See, I think
the thing about Elizabeth Warren is she's energetic. She's younger than all the rest of them, and she's female. That's huge.
Yeah.
Now, if Trump taps somebody like that, to run with him.
Sarah?
No. That's just
God, that was
that's
just.
just.
Did you see that?
I can hear. I can hear the folks at Saturday Night Live now going, Tina, I know, I've got my plane. And they go, and she's asking the guy at the other end, and she goes, is Larry in? Yeah, Larry's going to be here, so just suit up and come on in. Seriously.
Seriously, she's like a skit. She's a skit in real life.
Yeah. That, of all the stupid shit that Trump has said and done since he started,
All right.
that's got to me the biggest mistake, because she's batshit crazy. I mean, you can't look at her and not think she's batshit crazy.
Yeah, but Trump is the deal. Trump, there's part of me, okay, I'm going to confess this.
Yeah.
This is a small part of me. I'm not saying, there's part of me.
Talk to me, my son.
This is my other side of the lizard brain, and I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
It's a part of my brain I don't even understand. Part of me says, Trump, okay, I'm embarrassed to say this. I'm embarrassed to say this.
I love this.
Part of
This
me
is a
says,
first, folks.
Okay, part of me says that Trump is so shrewd
Yeah.
that this whole thing is an act, and that he's just
The whole thing is an act.
he's just playing the deal because he knows this is how he gets elected.
Oh, no. I agree with that completely.
No, but that gives Trump way more credit.
No. Trump is shrewd and smart.
Okay,
He's
so
a
is
dick,
is
but
he,
he's shrewd and smart.
well, is the dick is that Richard Gere movie?
Huh?
Where, remember that Richard Gere movie with Ed Norton?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And Ed
it's-
Norton, God, what's the name of that? I hate myself.
Oh, they're trying to elect somebody?
No, it's a movie.
Yeah.
And Ed Norton killed somebody in a college thing there, and it turns out he has this really sweet side and he has this bad side, right? He has these two sides, and at the end of the movie, you realize you're the whole time thinking this poor victimized kid is the real Ed Norton, and the bad side is just because of the abuse that he took.
Yeah.
But at the end of the movie, you realize the bad side was just pretending
Playing
to
it.
be
Oh,
the
yeah.
good
Oh,
kid.
no.
It's kind of like Trump on that.
Yeah.
What if he's just?
That's all,
I know it's not
that's
true.
all
I know it's not
narcissistic-
true. I know he's as dumb
all
as
narcissistic people. I think have that split personality.
So is
like
Trump
that.
sitting
and
in
they
a
know
room
it.
with a cigar afterwards, going, "Yeah, we're going to make some deals with Democrats here," and
I think he brought her on just to try and get over the hump on Iowa. And it may be enough, but because everything's hitting at once. He does that.
No, I
Bob
think he's
Dole
thinking
comes
bigger.
out.
He's thinking
and
way bigger than Iowa. He doesn't really care. He said to Iowa, "I love this. Only Trump can do this." He said, "Iowa, you haven't been very good at picking presidents. So if you want to pick, did you hear that? If you want to pick a winner, because you've been picking losers for quite a while now."
Yeah, if you
that's
wanna
what he said in Iowa.
Yeah.
2 Iowans.
Well, but
And
is
it's
that
true.
Okay.
Yes, that's the beauty of Trump.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that part of me hopes, but I realize that that's a false hope. I don't think at the end of the day that Trump's gonna is that he has everybody over. If he's that, then has everybody over the barrel.
Well, if he is that manipulative, would
Yes.
he not be a
A
good
good
president?
president?
Somebody to represent us international?
Yes.
Oh, Carl, did you just? Oh, Carl, you're
I'm going
you're
with Bernie.
blushing.
I'm going with Bernie.
I
I'm going
can
with
see the
Bernie.
scales starting to form on your forehead. Lizard man.
No, I know it can't be true. That's the hope, because if I don't have that hope and Trump becomes president, we are so fucked. And you may get your total financial collapse.
No, we're gonna have that. Have you been watching the seriously?
I mean, seriously, it could be the destruction of civilization as we know it.
Yeah.
So I've got a part of my brain for
Just
safety.
Get the lawn chair and sit back and watch the glow.
Part of my brain for safety purposes, for self-preservation, has to say, okay, but maybe this guy is so shrewd that he's just making this persona up to win and then he's going to fuck the Republicans over by being a Democrat.
You gotta quit being a pussy. You gotta go for broke, Carl. Go for broke.
Stick with Bernie, who's been true
no.
blue since day one.
Yeah, I hope that he's got Elizabeth in his back pocket
really
because
needs Elizabeth.
because Clinton's going to blow.
I
mean,
think
she's
Clinton-
old. She's part of the establishment.
Just like Obama, becomes powerful because of an inevitability factor. And
Yeah.
if Bernie pokes that out in Iowa and New Hampshire, that balloon can sink
Did you see
really
that
quickly.
Mika yesterday on Joe in the Morning told Debbie Wasserman, whatever her name
Yeah,
is, that
to resign?
She
should.
said y'all had screwed yourself by the way you're handling the debates and stuff.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now they've added another one. It's not a debate; it's a town hall meeting, but it's the
they've
same
added
kind of
another
thing.
one?
Yeah,
Did they put it besides Saturday night where nobody watches? Because the Republicans are getting 25 million of viewers a shot.
Who's going to watch on Saturday night?
I know they're running it on.
People are going out on Saturday night getting plastered so they don't have to think about what's going on.
Democrats not only are running few debates, they put them on at times where nobody's going to watch.
Yeah.
Which is just ridiculous. Which was a Clinton.
Yeah. No.
That's a Clinton kind of thing. You see, people don't like that shit anymore. People don't like that old manipulative bullshit.
Mm-hmm. I know.
We're more savvy.
People are waking up
Yes.
to the way the institutions have run it and scammed us. People are waking up to that. And you need to wake up to the fact that they're not coming to get your guns and that it's my baby or my pregnancy. And if I wanted, stop it, I'd stop it. And it's none of your business and it's not going to affect you. And if I'm gay and I want to get married, it doesn't lessen your marriage to your husband unless you want it to.
Right.
Yeah.
And that meanwhile, 80 families running the world.
And so what they're
62,
doing is
according
they're
to you.
building these kingdoms up. The other thing I love about these kingdoms is these people have got these 62 families or whatever it is, have got this false sense of security. They surround themselves with security people and drivers and guards and all that kind of stuff. What they don't realize is that those people that are around them are not getting paid well enough to protect them when the shit hits the fan. They've got family members that are out there helping sharpen up the guillotine. I want that fucking guillotine out. Let's pull the guillotine out. I think it would be good to pull the guillotine out.
So just for those who don't know, the guillotine is references when they use the guillotine to cut the heads off of the elites.
Yeah, the French Revolution.
Yeah. And I think if you really want that, if you want the guillotines, then you need to bring Bernie Sanders. Has to be the next president. Because that's as clear a message as you can get.
Yeah.
Like,
he and Elizabeth Warren. They are
if you're
ruthless
gonna,
on
when
that.
you
They're going after him.
when you vote for Bernie, you better vote for Democrat because you need to wipe the Republicans out as much as possible through their gerrymandering districts.
Yeah.
If you want to really create the change.
Yeah.
Because look at our top prosperity. Back when they remember when Eisenhower's era, the rich got taxed at 90%. Well, if you're a conservative, remember that era. We had prosperity in America like we never had it before.
Yeah. No, these are people that.
And I'm not saying Bernie's going to 90%,
No.
but I'm saying it's a game changer in terms of.
Yeah.
But then the argument is who's going to pass his proposals through the Congress?
I don't know. Some people that we don't know yet, who haven't been elected yet, or haven't burnt. We need to start the revolution, man. We need to ramp it up. Let's get it going.
So how many states does Bernie have to win before Obama?
You'll write some phrases.
Yes?
We'll do it. I
think we tried that
I wanted
before.
to look that up. I started to do that with the French Revolution. What kind of phrases did they have to rally the troops? I mean, there's the old "let them eat cake" shit, but and that's basically
Let them eat cake.
Yeah,
that was the.
I think that
King
was
and
back
Queen
from them,
thing.
but there was something back there.
Yeah. So we need some catchphrases for Viva la Revolution.
Yeah, yeah. And this is a global thing. This is not just the U.S. In fact, we're probably behind the curve.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a big part of what's happened in the Middle East. I think the people are tired of the leaders, and they're tired of the people
Yeah,
that
it
are
ain't
in
cracked
control.
yet in the Middle East.
Huh?
It ain't cracked yet in the Middle East, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Well, we've
Yeah.
done it again.
Yeah.
Our first
did.
episode
That
of
was
2016. Welcome back.
Yep.
And we want to hear from you. So send your questions to carlmike.net or your comments.
Yeah, keep
Give us a
those
comments on
cards and letters
Facebook,
coming.
Twitter, we're everywhere you want to be.
And probably places you don't want to be.
Places you've never been. And with that,
Yeah.
peace.
Out.